What if I told you that the largest country on Earth contains the coldest inhabited town on the planet, where temperatures can drop to nearly 100 degrees below zero? Or that this same country, despite having one of the longest coastlines in the world, spent centuries fighting wars just to gain access to a single port that didn't freeze over in winter? From a lake that holds 1/5 of the world's fresh water, to a railroad that conquered a continent. Here are 15 shocking geography facts you never knew about Russia. The sheer scale of Russia is difficult to comprehend, but one fact illustrates it perfectly. The country spans 11 consecutive time zones. This is a direct consequence of its unparalleled east-to-west breadth, stretching over 10,000 kilometers from the Baltic Sea to the Pacific Ocean. As a result, a single nation experiences nearly half of the planet's daily rotation at any given moment. When residents in Kaliningrad are sitting down to dinner, fishermen on the remote Kamchatka Peninsula are already waking up to the next day's dawn. This immense geographic span means there's no single Russian time. The country is a collage of different days and nights, a temporal continent in its own right, where national news broadcasts must be aired at multiple times to reach a population living simultaneously in today and tomorrow. Deep in the heart of Siberia lies a body of water so immense it defies superlatives. Lake Baikal. Known as the Galapagos of Russia, it's the world's oldest lake, having existed for over 25 million years, and its deepest, plunging to a staggering depth of 1,642 meters. Its volume is even more impressive. Baikal holds nearly 1/4 of all the frozen fresh surface water on Earth, more than all of North America's Great Lakes combined. Its ancient, isolated ecosystem supports thousands of species of plants and animals, the majority of which are found nowhere else on the planet, including the unique Baikal seal. This massive rift lake is not just a geographic feature, but a living laboratory of evolution, holding an unparalleled record of Earth's history in its icy depths. While the Amazon is the world's largest rainforest, the title for the largest forest of any kind belongs to the Siberian taiga. This colossal biome, a vast belt of coniferous trees like pine, spruce, and larch, blankets an enormous portion of Russia. Stretching from the Ural Mountains to the Pacific coast, the taiga covers an area larger than the contiguous United States, accounting for roughly 1/4 of the world's entire forest cover. This immense green ocean is a critical component of the planet's climate system, acting as a massive carbon sink that inhales carbon dioxide and exhales oxygen. It's a world of extreme temperatures and sparse human settlement, a sprawling wilderness that remains one of the last great intact forest ecosystems on Earth, shaping global climate from its silent northern expanse. Russia holds the unique status of being a transcontinental bridge, with its territory famously split between Europe and Asia. The traditional dividing line is the Ural Mountains, a natural barrier that has shaped the country's identity for centuries. This ancient 2,500-kilometer mountain range runs north to south and serves as more than just a geologic feature. It's a cultural and demographic watershed. To the west lies European Russia, the historic heartland of the country, where the vast majority of its population and its largest cities are concentrated. To the east stretches the vast, resource-rich, and sparsely populated expanse of Siberia, belonging to Asia. This division has created a dual identity for Russia, a country that looks both westward to Europe and eastward to Asia, a geopolitical reality born from its unique continental geography. In the remote Sakha Republic of Siberia lies the village of Oymyakon, a place that holds the chilling distinction of being the coldest permanently inhabited settlement on Earth. Known as the Northern Pole of Cold, this small community has recorded temperatures as low as -71.2 degrees Celsius. Life here is a constant battle against the elements. The ground is locked in a state of permafrost. Engines of cars are often left running 24/7 to prevent them from freezing solid, and even simple tasks become Herculean efforts. The extreme cold is a result of its geographic position, trapped in a valley where cold air settles and intensifies. Oymyakon is a testament to human resilience, a community that has adapted to survive in an environment so hostile it borders on the surreal. By the way, If you're enjoying these facts about Russia, that's just a glimpse of what our world has to offer. And if you love geography and want to dive deeper into the stories of places people love, come join me over on Substack. Every week, I publish additional articles and insights that go beyond the videos, exploring the fascinating details of our planet. It's the perfect companion for anyone curious about this crazy world we live in. Oh, and best of all, it's 100% free to subscribe. So sign up using the link in the description below, or just scan the QR code that's been on your screen this whole time. Now let's get back to Russia because its history is quite unlike any other place in the world. For centuries, the primary driver of Russian foreign policy was a relentless struggle against its own geography. The country's immense northern coastline was frozen for much of the year, denying its navy and merchant fleet reliable, year-round access to the world's oceans. This geographic predicament sparked a multi-generational quest for a warm water port, a strategic imperative that shaped the Russian Empire. This ambition fueled wars with the Ottoman Empire for control of the Black Sea and its access to the Mediterranean, conflicts with Sweden and Germany for dominance of the Baltic, and expansion eastward to ports like Vladivostok on the Pacific. This singular obsession with overcoming its climatic limitations is a crucial key to understanding Russia's historic expansion and its occupation and invasion of Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula in 2014, and then the rest of Ukraine in 2022. The construction of the Trans-Siberian Railway was more than just an infrastructure project. It was an act of political will designed to conquer the tyranny of distance. At over 9,200 kilometers, it's the longest railway line in the world, a single spine connecting Moscow in the west to the Pacific port of Vladivostok in the east. When built at the turn of the 20th century, it was a monumental undertaking that stitched the world's largest country together. The railway allowed the Russian government to project military power, move settlers and prisoners into the resource-rich but empty lands of Siberia, and economically integrate a continent-sized territory that has been largely disconnected. It fundamentally altered the geography of power in Russia, transforming the desolate expanse of Siberia from a place of exile into a strategic asset. Throughout history, Russia's most effective and ruthless defender has been its own climate. The phenomenon known as General Winter has been credited with the defeat of some of the most powerful armies ever assembled. In 1812, Napoleon's Grand Army was reduced to a frozen, starving rabble during its retreat from Moscow. In 1941, Hitler's technologically superior Wehrmacht was halted at the gates of the capital by the same brutal combination of sub-zero temperatures, blizzards, and vast, snow-covered distances. The Russian winter acted as a strategic weapon, freezing equipment, shattering supply lines, and demoralizing soldiers unaccustomed to its ferocity. The sheer scale of the landscape, combined with its unforgiving climate, has repeatedly turned invasion into a war of attrition that few outsiders have ever won. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union created a unique and chilling feature on its maps: dozens of cities that officially did not exist. These closed cities, or Zados, were encircled by fences, guarded by soldiers, and scrubbed from all public maps and road signs. Their purpose was to house the scientists, workers, and military personnel involved in the USSR's most sensitive projects, particularly the development of nuclear weapons. These were self-contained, high-security worlds where residents often enjoyed better living standards in exchange for complete secrecy and isolation. The existence of these unmapped urban centers was a stark manifestation of Cold War geography, creating a secret, parallel country dedicated to science and warfare hidden within the vastness of the Soviet Union. The map of modern Russia was drawn by one of the most explosive and rapid territorial expansions in human history. Beginning in the mid-1500s, the Tsardom of Russia, then a state centered on Moscow, began a relentless march eastward. Led by formidable Cossack explorers and fur trappers, this expansion surged across the Ural Mountains and through the immense wilderness of Siberia. Fueled by pursuit of valuable furs or soft gold, the Russians advanced at a staggering pace, establishing forts and subjugating local tribes. On average, the empire grew by an area roughly the size of the Netherlands every single year for over a century. By 1725, this eastward conquest reached the Pacific Ocean, transforming a European principality into the colossal, continent-spanning empire it remains today. Russia's population distribution is a story of two vastly different countries. Although the Asian portion, Siberia, makes up over 3/4 of the nation's total land area, it's home to less than a quarter of its people. The overwhelming majority of Russia's 143 million citizens are crammed into a much smaller European section west of the Ural Mountains. This creates one of the most lopsided demographic landscapes on Earth. European Russia contains the country's political, economic, and cultural centers, while Siberia is a vast, mostly empty expanse of wilderness and resource extraction towns. All told, Eastern Russia is home to about 37 million people, or 25% of Russia's total population. This profound imbalance presents ongoing challenges for governance and development, creating a country with a densely populated core and a vast, wild periphery that remains one of the most sparsely inhabited regions on the planet. A peculiar legacy of World War II can be found on the Baltic coast, where a piece of Russia exists completely detached from the motherland. The Kaliningrad Oblast is a Russian exclave, a pocket of sovereign territory wedged between NATO members Poland and Lithuania. Originally the German city of Königsberg, it was annexed by the Soviet Union in 1945. Today, it remains a heavily militarized and strategically vital territory, serving as the headquarters for Russia's Baltic Fleet in a warm water port. This geographic anomaly places a piece of Russia directly within the footprint of the European Union and NATO, making Kaliningrad a permanent point of geopolitical sensitivity and a unique example of how redrawn borders can create lasting strategic complexities. A direct consequence of its colossal size is that Russia shares a land border with more countries than almost any other country, tied with China at 14. This vast international frontier, stretching over 20,000 kilometers, is a catalog of geopolitical diversity. In the west, it borders NATO members like Norway, Finland, Poland, and the Baltic states, representing a tense geopolitical region. To the south, it shares borders with the countries of Georgia and Azerbaijan in the Caucasus, and Kazakhstan and Mongolia in Central Asia, regions of complex ethnic and political history. And in the east, it meets the economic powerhouse of China and the isolated state of North Korea. It also shares two maritime borders with Japan and the United States. Managing this incredibly long and varied border with its diverse array of neighbors is a central challenge of Russian foreign policy and shapes its security posture from Europe to the Arctic to East Asia. The effects of climate change are paradoxically unlocking a new economic frontier for Russia in the far north. As Arctic sea ice continues to melt at an accelerated rate, the once impassable northern sea route along Russia's coastline is becoming a viable and tantalizingly short shipping lane. This route can reduce the travel distance between major ports in Europe and Asia by up to 40% compared to the traditional path through the Suez Canal, saving immense time and fuel costs. Russia is strategically positioning itself to dominate this emerging global artery, investing billions in a new fleet of nuclear-powered icebreakers and upgrading Arctic ports. This transformation of a frozen wasteland into a potential shipping superhighway represents a monumental shift in modern economic geography. While the world often views Russia as a monolithic state, it is, in reality, a deeply multinational federation. The country is truly a mosaic of over 190 officially recognized ethnic groups, each with its own language, culture, and geographic homeland. Beyond the Slavic Russian majority, the country is home to large Turkic populations like the Tatars and Bashkirs, Caucasian peoples like the Chechens, and indigenous Siberians, such as the Buryats and Yakuts. Many of these groups govern their own autonomous republics within the Russian Federation, with their languages holding official status alongside Russian. This incredible diversity is a product of centuries of conquest and migration, creating a complex internal web of cultures that challenges any simple definition of what it means to be Russian. Russia is a complicated country to say the very least, and I didn't make this video as a celebration of it. In fact, I very much support Ukraine in their endeavor to protect and free their homeland from Russia's illegal invasion. But I also recognize the need to better understand places like Russia, because, as with all things, their geography contains the answers to so many of the choices they make today. This week, I'm exploring Georgia, a country that has a very long history with Russia, and one that continues to struggle with it to this day. And if you want to see what that country is like, come join me over on my travel channel. I hope you enjoyed learning all about Russia. If you did, be sure to check out this video all about 15 surprising geographic facts about the US state of Iowa. Thanks for watching, see you next time.